Undefeated Olympic gold medalist Andre S.O.G. Ward responds to Tyson Fury's blockbuster deal signing with ESPN. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing if you want to become part of the gang. Notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, we had some interesting news, real interesting. And that was Tyson Fury signed this mega deal, I believe 5 fights. He's going to be working with ESPN as his U.S. broadcaster, still with Frank Warren, still with Queensberry Promotions on the UK side of the business, but he's teamed up with Top Rank. They had a blockbuster deal. It was going well, so they extended that and made it even longer term, I think like 7 to 8 years. And, you know, this is big. This is big for ESPN. Not only did ESPN and Top Rank do this big deal, but so did the UFC, you know. So they have money. They're investing into the boxing programming. They've gotten, you know, retired fighters like Tim Bradley, Andre Ward to do commentary, things like that. Max Kellerman has his own show on ESPN as well. Andre Ward reacts to this news. This is a network he calls the fights on, and this is what Ward had to say. Big move by Top Rank and ESPN! Exclamation mark. Bringing Tyson Fury over means great things for the heavyweight division and the sport as a whole. Looking forward to calling his fights. So I'm sure as a announcer, you know, that's a huge move when somebody who's had good performances or someone you respect in the fight game comes over to your side, you know, and you get to call their fights, because that just means your job, you know, they say, you know, the saying, if you love what you do, you never have to work a day in your life, you know. So who wouldn't want to have, it's just like when the Lakers acquired LeBron. I mean, is the guy so talented? I'm not comparing Tyson Fury to LeBron. I'm just saying, if you were calling the Lakers, you know, if you covered the Lakers and then LeBron comes over, you know, or somebody who you respect, you're like, oh yeah, you know, this is gonna make my job even funner. So yeah, I can understand that. Tyson Fury, for me, there's a lot of questions I still have. I don't want to speculate too much because I don't know what's going on. They're saying the Deontay Wilder fight could still happen and they still want to make it happen. But Tyson Fury at the press conference and throughout the interviews where he announced this, he has also said some other things that, for me, you know, me as a consumer of boxing, draws things into question. He says, Wilder and Anthony Joshua, things are on my terms now. He said something to that degree. So that doesn't, for me, give me hope that the Wilder Fury 2 fight will happen as planned. They also said that Deontay Wilder had no knowledge of this deal. You know, him or his team or his people had no knowledge of this deal. They found out like everybody else today, you know. So that's another thing. You think you're negotiating with a guy, he's behind the scenes working his magic. That's why, you know, there's some confusion. They said, oh, there's a big announcement for Tyson Fury on Monday, and people assumed it was Wilder rematch being announced. But then Shelly Finkel did interviews like, no, we're not announcing that. We're not ready to announce, you know, and this is why, you know, they were behind the scenes. So I have mixed feelings about how great this is, because I'm a student of the game. Like, you know, I'm not connected or tied to anyone. I'll promote or cover anybody's fight. If it's a good fight, it's a good fight. But with statements like Joshua Wilder, it's, you know, balls in my court. Some of the things Frank Warren says, like, now instead of going to Germany and going to these places in people's backyard, now they must come to us. We got the money, you know. So now it's seeming like a power move. And, you know, all's fair in love and war. I'm happy Tyson Fury is getting a bag, but, you know, this could have created even more separation and a Cold War, you know, again. And we've seen this in boxing. Boxing just can't get out of his own way. With Bob Arum, you know, when Richard Schaefer was with Golden Boy, they didn't get along with Bob Arum. Fights weren't made. You know, there were great fights at the time. Adrian Broner versus Brandon Rios. You know, Manny Pacquiao versus any of the Heyman guy. And Golden Boy, you know, at the time, Golden Boy and Heyman guys like Amir Khan and Pacquiao, none of those fights happened at all. And then, you know, Richard Schaefer left. Oscar, he did like rehab or whatever. Richard Schaefer left. Then Richard Schaefer stopped like fucking with Golden Boy. And then Golden Boy seemingly mended their relationship and made a few fights with Bob Arum. So like, damn, okay. Now Richard Schaefer, he's with Al Heyman. Al Heyman left. They're on different networks. You know, Bob Arum and Oscar De La Hoya are now, you know, chumming it up. And then, you know, it created like another Cold War. It's like Al Heyman guys are over here, and then Top Rank and Golden Boy. Now it looks like Top Rank, like, you know, I've seen Bob Arum or heard Bob Arum say disparaging things against De La Hoya. So I don't even know if he really messes with De La Hoya like that. They haven't really put on any big fights that I could remember that wasn't mandatory or something that got ordered where somebody's going to lose their belt or their position, you know. And now you don't really see Golden Boy. You don't see like Canelo versus Jermall Charlo, right? You don't really see, you know, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. You see some Al Heyman fighters, but it's like the John Molina Jr., Felix Diaz. It hasn't been like a Keith Thurman and Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. So now in the heavyweight division, when everything is seemingly good and seemingly great, you have this, which is a boss move in terms of finances. You know, again, this is great for Tyson Fury, his family, his, you know, financial status, you know, status quo. But what does this do for the fans? Will we really and truly get the Joshua fight and the Wilder fight? You know, is it going to happen? Are they going to do a joint promotion? So I'm not going to sit up here and speculate. That was Andre Ward's reaction. One thing I will say, that depending on the outcome of, again, I'm not going to speculate what it is, but once I see who Tyson Fury fights, which I do have doubts, I do think the Wilder fight is in jeopardy, you know, with this news. But I will wait it out and report it as normal. But Andre Ward, immediately after the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder first fight in December, he made a tweet, or he tweeted out something that had a lot of people stirred up. You know, he said something to the effect of, I don't know if Deontay Wilder is going to want to go through that again. And people got mad at Ward, like figuring he was challenging Wilder's heart as a fighter, things like that, you know. And it created this whole like frenzy of, hey, how would you doubt a fellow American? You know, people were mad at Andre Ward. I will say, you know, I haven't really touched on the subject too much. I did talk about it when it first happened, but I will say this: if Tyson Fury doesn't fight Deontay Wilder next, then I think it's safe to say that Wilder's been vindicated. You know, you can't say that Wilder wasn't trying to make the rematch with Tyson Fury, and then Tyson Fury signs a monster deal, which, you know, no one could blame him financially. But if he got involved in this deal, but he doesn't fight, and, you know, he says he holds all the cards now, and Wilder's team's still saying they want to make the fight. So if he ends up fighting like a Kubrat Pulev or a much lesser fight, then, you know, in that argument, Deontay Wilder, he won because he proved that he was about it. You know, he proved, you know, I feel bad for Wilder if he doesn't get the fight, you know, just based on the simple fact, Wilder keeps trying to prove himself. He keeps calling out Joshua, you know, willing to go to Joshua's fights to support and, you know, create a buzz. And Joshua was the one, oh, it's mad, you can't get in the ring, this is my ring, you know, doing this stuff and saying you're uninvited in the ring, and you know, just this different stuff. And then fighting Povetkin, and then if he's on the cusp of fighting Tyson Fury, and then if this deal has created separation to the point where Wilder Fury doesn't happen next, you know, plus guys in the past who have been scheduled, Alexander Povetkin of Russia, and then that Polish fighter Andrzej Wałowski or whatnot, they failed drug tests when they were scheduled to fight him, you know. So it's like Wilder, he keeps getting dealt a bad hand. People keep, you know, saying his style is sloppy, or he lacks technique, or he doesn't have this, he doesn't exude this, he needs to work on this. But for someone with all these flaws that fans I'm talking about have so many quarrels and beefs with, he seems to be like really avoided a lot, you know what I'm saying, or put in situations where I don't really blame him for fights not happening. That's my truest thoughts. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm not gonna dive too deep into it. I always like to get the information. I don't know who Tyson Fury is fighting next. In fact, I didn't even know this deal was coming. But I will follow up with this and let you know more of my thoughts once I see who Tyson Fury is fighting. I will be disappointed, however, if the Wilder fight doesn't happen next, you know, new deal or not. And like I said, I have doubts because would you want to put someone who's like on death row in that 12th round? Some people even complained about a long count and stuff. A new deal, you're a network, you're paying Tyson Fury all this money. Is that the first fight you put him in? You know, I don't know that would be the case, but you know, it's just a little bit of forward thinking. Once we get some concrete information as to who he's fighting, I'll talk about it more. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.